Hey everybody, this is Gary Gonsalves and Vikas Jain from Broca Consultancy Services, and we joining you for part three of our five-part webinar series held weekly. So at Broca, we use bespoke IT solutions to reimagine the way work is actioned. We focus on the four P's that can assist business with superior profitability: enable your people, optimize your processes, improve your speed of delivery, and build your platform for scalability. So, today we're going to focus on the need to optimize your process and apply a technology lens. So, last in the previous webinar, we spoke about enabling people. Now, if you want to enable people, it is important that people operate within a guided framework. And this is where processes become quintessential. There is a need for speed in organizations. Processes need to be streamlined, and decision making needs to be accelerated. A well executed process can improve efficiency and effectiveness, and it is important for outputs to not only be accurate but be cost effective. A hybrid workforce creates challenges, but with the right set of tools and technology, we can use technology to absorb some of that complexity. Now, undocumented processes means a little bit of variation in the way people use and operate them. And a research by IDC actually has shown that process variation can actually cost 20 to 30% of your revenue. Compliance is another important aspect, as this helps with risk mitigation. And audit is an equally important facet because you need to know how your employees are actioning a particular process. Plus, audit highlights the gaps and creates an opportunity for continuous improvement. So it's not only important to kind of just document a process, but it is important to know that the process is being actioned and being compliant in the way it is meant to perform. Lack of visibility or inability to execute a process constantly, consistently, leads to diminished productivity. People start operating at capacity, and now you will see the employee experience not being present in organizations, but a bigger impact is the customer experience begins to suffer as well. Hence, optimizing processes are very important and critical. Now, if you want people to be exceptional and you want the processes to be optimized, then these inefficiencies need to be addressed. At Broca, we believe technology has a major role in the way this can be accomplished. So let's look at a technology lens, see how it is important for processes, and let's hear from Vikas. So over to you, Vikas. What's your take on this?
Thanks, Gary. I appreciate that. So you mentioned inefficient processes. Yeah. So here's my take on tech and how it can help with improving inefficient processes. One of the big causes of inefficiency is process handover. Why? Because handover introduces waiting time in the process. And normally a process is not executed by one person. It actually runs across the department and actually executed through a collaboration of multiple staff members. When a task is handed over, that's when a waiting time is introduced, which actually increases the turnaround time of the process. Classic example is waiting for approval or waiting for remaining documents from a fulfilling team. So implement workflow automation from Microsoft Power Automate. This will reduce the waiting time. How? Power Automate can create automatic notifications when the work is assigned to someone. It can route work based on availability of staff member and also based on other parameters like skill, etc. That way you reduce the waiting time and hence making the process efficient. Now let's look at Another inefficiency in the process is data error. There are normally two types of data errors: data entry related errors and data age related errors. Data entry related errors are introduced by typos. Simple example being premium amount is entered as 50.9 instead of 59.9. So, what do you do? This can be easily and fully eliminated by bots. Bot, i.e., robotic process automation. So, if bot handles data instead of the user, then there is no data entry error, pretty much. Or you can integrate organizational or operational bots with customer facing bot, for example, chatbot. And that way you can create pending workflows where updates are required. Now, with all this in place, you can stay on top of data related and data age related errors. Your data is always up to date and accurate. Also, when you use bot, you can enforce process standardization. And when process is standardized, we can assure that processes being executed are actually compliant. My next point is, how do we get good grip on knowing the details of the processes we are performing and knowing how well we are performing them? So use task mining from UiPath to get details of the process. Create data repository and capture and store process performance metrics. Overlay with Microsoft Power BI to create visuals, dashboards, and reports so that it gives you a good view of how processes are performing. It is very difficult to capture data in the flow of the process, but it can be achieved by introducing bots in the process. Once we have a good reporting with Power BI, now we can easily see the pitfalls and will be in a better position to make decisions where to improve. Now, that is quite powerful because this will make our process improvement effort more effective. I guess in summary, I would say use workflow automations such as Microsoft Power Automate to reduce process inefficiency and process turnaround time or increase speed of delivery. Use bots through robotic process automation and task mining to reduce data errors or in fact eliminate data error and increase compliance. Thirdly, using tools like Power BI and being aware of where to improve, you can make your continuous improvement methodology effective. Overall, with the above, you can reduce operational cost of the whole process of service delivery. That would be my take on processes today. Thanks, Gary.
Lovely. Thanks, Vikas. I like the idea that you highlighted with data is not only data error but data age. I think that is so important because there's so many times you call companies either for your broadband, etc., and you have to repeat that information because they have not captured that information and updated in their system. So when it gets a handover, you're just repeating information. So it's a waste of time for the customer, but it's also a waste of time for the user to action it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that way, data repeat is reduced. Customer feels more satisfied, and they believe that you have up to date information, and
Perfect.
that builds trust and confidence with customer. True.
Nice. So at Broker, we really want to assist businesses to achieve superior profitability. We feel the four P's are the way when they work in harmony to kind of achieve this. S- uh, as part of the 4P framework, these are the questions, 5 questions per P. We ask for the process. The team members then enter it and they get a score. The score basically can then highlight a gaps as well. So these were the questions relating to process. In the next webinar, we will talk about speed of delivery for product or service. So thanks for listening and see you guys again soon. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.